What's up, live? Let me see. I got some people coming on in here tonight. Right. Let me get over here and click on my go live on my Instagram so we can keep this thing going. What's up, YouTube, Facebook group, Instagram? All right, let's go. All right, cool. All right, and let me get a couple of people time to get in here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about client communication, how to communicate with clients inside of your business. Something that I struggle with in the beginning part. And at each level that I get on inside of the business, I find myself having to add another layer of communication with the client. And so now it's amazing that we have software that actually helps with this out. It helps out with this. So I go over software that I'm using to help out with the communication because we want to make sure that we have a great relationship with the client. All right. So let's say client communication and customer service. We'll talk about some of the things that we do to keep up with our customer service and some of the things we have not done. You know, sometimes I like to actually talk about some of the things that we messed up on because some of the lessons come from them, man, you know. So it's not all about the things that we're doing perfect or the things that we got locked down and the things that we do. We got to take an inventory on things that we might not be doing as well, think that we can be doing a little better. And one of them I start off was one of the things that I could be doing better from the beginning is the follow-up sequence. One of the things that I just implemented into the company is a follow-up automation that will follow up periodically. We set it up month to month with the client, right? So we had a certain way that we was following up. We rely on them to say if they have a problem or not. But what we started now is we wanted to get in there. We wanted to follow up with them on a consistent basis. So we set up automation. All right. So I think I need my water here. Let me see. Before I get on into this real quick. All right. See if I got some people on here today. All right. Well, all right, let's see. All right. So all right, we got a couple of people chiming in here. We do got a couple of people there. All right. So yeah, I tend to come on every Saturday at 7 Central Time to talk a little bit more about what I got going on and how things are developing and see if I can empower somebody, man. So I use my stories and my experience to help other people out. And it's been going great as far as the one-on-one coaching and people that I'm building with around in my area. So I said, hey, since I got a system in place, or since I'm actually doing some things right, let's sit about getting it out to the other people that may can benefit, right? So today we're talking about client management and customer relationship, or otherwise client communication and customer service. And one of the things that I struggled with in the beginning is when I was getting out of my company, customer service protocol, because it was early on and I didn't have a system in place because I was the system, right? As you start to put in your company or whatever you're doing, you start to realize that you are the system. You are the customer service, and customer service seems to be a lot easier when you're at that stage because you're the person there. You're talking to the client. You're also getting the feedback from the client because again, you're the smaller of the company. You're the person that's doing all of it. But as you start to scale up and you start to put people in place, some of those things fall off to the wayside because you have to put certain softwares in place. So you have to put certain procedures in place. Matter of fact, you have to put certain policies. Procedures and policies are similar, but they're a little different. Procedure is more of how you get something done. Policy is more up to me is why it needs to be done. And so I didn't have a lot of those things starting off into the transition of growing my business. And I could see how in that initial stage, it didn't take off as well as I wanted it to because I didn't know to actually tell people, hey, I need you to do this and be here and take it this way. So I didn't communicate well on in the beginning. But now we got to a certain situation to where we have our clients in the app. They are communicating with us directly, and we can follow up. We also take pictures. We also make sure that we follow up and go and see with the client. At the beginning time, we didn't do a lot of those things. See, I think I'm gonna take a little minute here today. I'm not really feeling my life, but I gotta push through, right? I gotta push through. So what? All right. So, all right. So, in the initial stages of client building, I had to be flexible with my clients. So, I wanted to make sure that we have a tailored package for some people. It's like a lot of people don't need everything. And so, we had to make sure that we were doing the, why am I don't know why I'm nervous for the day. Let me see. See if I got something on. My bad. My bad. My bad. Oh, I got some people over on the line. Okay. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm working with this new software that I have, and I'm going on IG, and I'm going on YouTube, and I'm going on Facebook. So I'm trying to see how to keep up with everything. Again, I'm in the initial stages of this, but as we start to build our company, we want to make sure that we are doing the best thing that we can to communicate with our client. As I was saying in the beginning stages, I did a lot more communicating by leaving paperwork there, or leaving notes and stuff, or leaving some type of communication to see how we're doing. As I started to put people in the buildings, I stopped doing those initial things to get the client feedback, and I just started to growing on the company. And I didn't understand why or how important it was to actually get the feedback. That's when I was starting. So now we have a certain automation that we implement in the companies, that we monthly follow up and make it automated and have it a little different so the client doesn't get stale with the same follow-up message. I remember when I was working with my franchise, some of the clients used to say that they didn't like the phone calls all the time. So you want to make sure that you are getting a connection with the client. How does the client want to be communicated with? Sometimes I think that we communicate the way that's easier to us, but it might not be effective to the client. Now, how you measure that is you go through and you see what's actually getting the feedback. So we have multiple different ways. We could text them. We could set have a phone call. If they don't do any of those streamed ways of communication, then I'll stop by and say, hey, how things is going. I have fell off of doing that when I was growing, and I could see that that could be detrimental to the company, because when you start to change contacts in the company, that's when things start to go astray. So as I was in the business, and I like to talk about the two different ways, and when I was in it and when I was moving out in the transition, because I don't know where people are following me are, because it's different techniques that you take along the way, and you learn from those on different levels. Like what I did when I was cleaning the business, cleaning the building, didn't work for me when I had other people to clean it, because they didn't care as much as to do the follow-up. They didn't care as much as to get the information, right? They wasn't talking to the client, because a lot of times the people would show up after the client was gone. When I was cleaning in the building, I wanted to meet the client because I knew I had to build a business, and I knew relationship with business. Relationship builds business. So I would go to the building sometimes right at the end of the shift and be like, hey, how you doing, Diane? Or what's up? How you doing, Carrie? How you doing? I just wanted to let you know that I was coming to clean. Is there anything that needs to be done? Is there anything that was missing? Because I wanted to get that face to face. Now, as you start to grow out the company, or you start to just be that emblem of the company, how do you keep your face to face is what I was struggling with at first. But see, now I am implementing software. Now, I know a lot of times when we growing into the company, we don't want to spend the money for software because we don't have the money coming in on the gross income. But I would love to tell you this, that you would be very much pleased with the investments of software when you start to implement them into your company. And I use the word investment because as a point in the first part of the stages of me implementing software, I use the free, we use the Slack, we use the Asana, we use some of the free softwares that you can actually communicate with my team on. But as you start to grow, you start want a more robust software. You want something that can actually do the inspections. You want something that you could talk to the client. You want something that you could have channels that you could talk to the team with, right? So with some of those softwares that you got, you want to measure out what do you actually need and what can actually you want to grow to. One of the things I also challenge myself to when I'm getting to investing in software, what do I need for the next 3 years? And a lot of times as we get into business, if we're not learned or if we don't study a lot or get under other people that's doing some of the things that we want to do, we don't know where we're going. So we just go haphazardly and pick certain softwares or certain things, and it only lasts us for a little while. Me knowing that I wanted to take my company to where it was being able to run without me so I could focus more on investment, I knew that I had to put certain things in procedure and certain things in place so that it could run independent of me. Like it could run where I could focus on something else. A lot of us are in the in the beginning stages, and we need to be in the business. I talk to some people right now in coaching, right? And it's I want to say this in the correct way. They want to put the cart before the horse. I meet a lot of entrepreneurs right now. And when I say a lot, I'm talking about the ones that I know. I'm not meaning millions and millions of entrepreneurs. So I want to keep it in relative to what I'm on my level. But when I meet them and I see what they want to do, they want to instantly put systems in place. And that's great. But they don't want to be a part of putting the system in place. And what that does is that means you have to have money. It's 3 things that you need: time, treasure, and talent, right? You need the time to put into it. You need the money, which is the treasure, or the talent to get it done. And if you don't want to, now those 3 are definitely needed. Now, if you don't have all 3 of them, then you need to find somebody with one of them. If you don't have the time because you're working the job and you don't have the time to put these policies and procedures, then you get you a coach. You get you somebody that can help you along the way. Get you somebody that can put automation in your company. Talk to me. Send me a message. We could definitely add automation to your company the way you don't have to worry about following up. We have automated thing to do that, right? But if you're willing to learn to do it because you don't have the money, you begin in the biz, you start in the beginning part of the business building, and you are, let's say, you don't have the cash, right? You're strapped for cash because you need that next income coming today. I've been there. I needed that next income. I had bills to pay. I needed everything. So I didn't have the money to go out and do all the marketing and stuff. So I started a marketing company. I started to learn my own thing because I had the time. See, once you have an entrepreneur, you start to choose and pick and choose, however you want to say it, your buildings or your job, then you can start to give a better ROI. See, what I did was, this is my game plan. And what I did was, so I used my business to give me a high-paying job. Those that know about the class 4 quadrant, we could talk about the E's, which is the employees, the self-employed, the business owners, and the investors, right? So I'm looking to be an investor in real estate. So that's the whole goal. All roads lead to real estate. So every time that you're listening to me, know that this is a setup or a play to get to that investment, passive income, because we're living for financial freedom, right? We want to be able to have income coming off to where our family and our loved ones can take care of themselves, or we can enjoy our life when we get older. So all roads lead to real estate for me. So let's back this up to where the E and the S mindset comes in. Because as I'm starting to build my business, I am now an employee of my company. I do that for tax reasons and also investment reasons. I pay myself. I got a W-2 this year. And I was like, man, it was side story. I got a W-2 and it was my own W-2 I sent to myself. And I thought that was real inspirational to be able to do that for myself one time. This is the first year that I've done it. So, and that's, again, for me to jump into real estate and being able to profit. I mean, being able to qualify for homes, right? So, but let's get back into talking to clients, right? So we're back into talking to a client now. You got some people that has the time and the treasure and the talent, right? So you don't have the talent because you don't know how to set up the automation. You don't know how to actually get this thing done. So what you do is you go to work and you put your time into getting the finances. Now you spend a little bit of the money that you have to get the time that somebody else have, and you got the whole trifecta: the time, the talent, and the treasure, right? Time, talent, and the treasure. Yeah. So you got to see which one that you do or do not have. Some people don't have, you say, man, look, I ain't got no time, no treasure, or no talent. All right, then. So what we got to do is we got to carve out some time to learn some things so you can implement those things and then start working with what's working. You start pounding that, right? And I'm gonna tell you how it worked in my life. So as I was looking to transition or set up my three triple head beast or whatever you want to call it. I haven't figured out a name for it. I usually just call it the W.A.D.E money funnel because it's from the cleaning company to the marketing company that churns both of them, my brand and my cleaning company, and then deposits the money in real estate. So I said it's a funnel that money comes in the cleaning company and it, funnels around here and bring other people, help other people and deposit it, right? So the W.A.D.E money funnel is what I was calling it. But again, I haven't actually coined a name to what it's actually doing, but I do know that it's working. And so as I started to build with people, I started to realize that some people have the time, they don't have the money. But what they do with their time, they don't treasure it. They spend a lot of time doing other things that's not going to actually implement what they need in their business, but then they say they don't have the money to do it. But it's really the time that they have to use. Because if you don't have the money and you don't have the talent, you must have the time. You must carve out the time. It's one of the three that you have to put into something. You have to really find all three of them so that you can kind of build, right? So we want to build a system with the time that we have so we can follow up and nurture those relationships. We want to make sure that we can nurture our teammates. That's something else that has to do with client satisfaction, how we treat the teammates. We send out an email to our teammates to let them know clocking in is okay. Now, I have 1099, so I don't need them to clock in, but I do need them to show that they're at the building. So that's a certain thing that you go in there, you say, hey, I'm here and I'm leaving, and these are the issues that we had. Because I want to make sure I know what's going on, right? I want to make sure in case they need toilet paper, we got to order them or some things like that. So I want to make sure we communicate. And that alone helps the person that's cleaning the building communicate to the client better. I had one guy that was in the building. They loved him, man. They loved him a lot. And what happened right here was that we have new administration. Now, inside of communication, when new administration comes in, I wanted to let you know that you should find out immediately and go in contact. I mean, learn about what they like in the business. Reintroduce yourself, because with new information, we are making with new information. We want to make sure that we are with new contacts. We want to make sure that we're giving up new information. I mean, all right, let me get it right this time. With the new contact, we want to go in and get their information because they might looking at things differently than the last contact was. It never fails. Every time a building changes, they look to cut out some of their income because some of their expenses, and the cleaning company be one of the first ones they look to go out and bring in another company. And what happened this time is that we were going on a yearly upcharge, and we was getting on a yearly upcharge. And let me take off these comments because that's what's blowing my. I get to the comments in a minute. But we was looking at a yearly upcharge, and when the yearly upcharge came about, they decided to cancel. Now, I was wondering, like, we didn't have no problems with this building, so why were they canceling? I had a good rapport with the guy that was actually the man that we were, getting the keys from, and he told me that the new administration came in, and they were shaking and doing some things. You were shaking up some things. It wasn't to clean. It was that they wasn't cool with the increase. Now, I didn't know that the new administrator came in, but the cleaner that was in the building knew that they had new administrator coming in. But I didn't tell the cleaner to let me know that. So I didn't know to tell him to let me know that, right? So this is what I mean by I have to tell y'all how things go that's good and where I'm at is learning in life as well. Because some of the losses are the lessons that I'm learning to grow again. So in this loss, so for instance, this lesson, I learned that, hey, when you see new administrators to come in, to let people know that. Because I knew that, but don't mean that I transferred that to the cleaner or to the people that's in the building, right? I asked, do we have any problem with the clean? I'll make sure we have our supplies. As any how you feeling about the clean? But I don't talk to them about is administration cleaning, or is their personnel changing inside the building. I didn't think to talk to them about that because I felt that if it was going to be a personnel change, I will find out, right? Well, I found out that they didn't like the increase. But again, That's about learning these building the business. I don't trust people that say they don't have any losses in the company. I don't trust people that tell me they win all the time unless they talk about winning from the interior to the exterior, like winning from the inside and outside. And what I mean by that is if I lose some money today and I built up character on, I learned some internal things that I can build up in my company, then that's a win for the company. It might be an external loss, but I can talk about the win internally, right? Now, if I'm winning internally, I mean externally, and I'm getting money or I'm showing these people and I'm doing these things and I'm losing character inside, right? Or I overlook some people because I started getting some money from an account and I started to get comfortable, because that has happened too. When I was in getting money on the account, I had so many accounts. When I say so many, I didn't have enough, but you know how we talk. But I had a lot of accounts at the time, and I was looking at balancing in my business. I'm looking at what to do next. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? You know what I mean? Because I'm putting people in the building. I'm making some good money. And now I don't have to be in the building. Like, what do I do? Like, what is next? Again, coming from a franchise, you don't even learn how to sell and market. So once you get that whole thing put together, what do? You sit around and go to the gym, or you walk around and you talk to people that can lollygag you all day, and you find yourself around a different mindset of people when you go network. But the people that's not networking, that can talk all day, if you don't know what you're doing, you find yourself misled on your business, right? Now that happened about year three. It was right before COVID 2020. It happened to me right then. So and then I was learning about communication, right? I was learning about communication then, because when I was getting out, I didn't communicate to the team well. I didn't communicate then at the time who was the manager in the building. I had a builder and I left people to so to figure it out, kind of speak. You know what I mean? I seen who was taking charge, and I didn't want to appoint nobody as the leader because I had to keep going in there. And maybe I didn't know how to appoint nobody as the leader at the time. It was about 8 people on the ship, and I seen some people taking charge, but nobody that I really wanted to stamp to be the leader. I didn't want to put that on them, and so my communication to my team caused a communication breakdown within the team, right? So I learned from those mistakes how to now communicate effectively with the team. Now I make sure that I'm not in the building, because again, we're talking about being in the building, transitioning out the buildings, and now out the buildings. How do you continue to communicate with the people, right? Because how you communicate while you're in the building is different than when you're moving out the building. Like I told you just now, when I was transitioning out the first time, I didn't know to set people in place. Hey, I need you to be the person. I need you to be the manager. I need you to do this. I wanted people to step up, and I was just going to see who stepped up, and that didn't work. That didn't work for me. So what I learned now is make sure you appoint people to do, even if it's the mundane task, appoint people to do what you need them to do. And so people know exactly what to do. And then you get to report back to them. But I mean, you get them to report to you, because when they report to you, and if you stay consistent with the team, it will allow them to see how consistent you want to be with communication to the client as well. Case in point, my guy that I was talking about that was doing a good clean. He was doing a good clean on the building, and he was doing a great job, but he didn't know to tell me, again, that the administration was changed. He told me when they said that they didn't see me coming by, right? Because they had seen me coming by for a while, and I wasn't coming by no more because he was doing a great job. So I didn't come by. And so they was like, oh, well, he don't come by. He don't stop by anymore. He don't come in. So I realized that, okay, well, now you want to see my face in my company there. It's not that we're doing a good job, but you want to be able to see that my company or that somebody representing me is stopping by on a regular basis. So that's another communication issue. I have clients that don't want to see that. I have clients that don't want to see us stopping by. They don't want to see nobody stopping by. They don't even want to answer the email that's asking them for the review. But what they will do is, if I call on the phone, they'll talk to me real quick. Oh yeah, man, it's going pretty good. They will do that. So I had to have somebody call and say, hey, how's things going? It's going okay, cool. But you want to make sure that you got the communication style for your client. So everybody want to communicate different. I just not implemented text with a feedback. So I'm going to start implementing a client reputation into my my scheme, because client reputation, if you do it the right way, their review can go straight to your Google, right? So I'm not going to talk too much detailed on that right now, but you want to make sure that you are following up with the client and have a way that goes on Google. And then if you have the negative ones, it goes to the owner so you can correct it. You don't want to put the negative ones on Google, but you do want to connect them and make sure you want to connect with it, and you want to make sure that it's actually handled, right? So our issue now is getting people to actually answer the emails, right? So we send out the email, and some of them, they just don't want to answer the email. Now, that's why I said we're going to do the text. Because when I get the text and you send a link, you just give a nice couple of questions, pop, 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 and it's cool, right? So I'm gonna start implementing the text and see how that go, and I'll follow back up with y'all and let you know how that is. That's something new, man. It's something new, but you always want to implement and increase client reputation and customer satisfaction. Anybody has some? Let me see if I got some comments down here. Let me see. Comments. Get some comments. I'm doing it right. All right. Wow. All right, let me see about these comments. Let me see if I got these comments in here. Good info, Uncle Wade. All right, nephew. I got Uncle Wade in the building. All right, I like it. I can take Uncle definitely jump in here. Definitely. All right, get it right, Wade. I appreciate it, Michael. You tapping in, my guy. My guy tapping in. What did he say? Was that a day porter account? Was that a day porter account you were referring to, where you had that guy in and the new administration came in? Oh, no, it wasn't a day porter building. It was a church that we had. We had a church, and a lot of times churches do not like different people coming in. A lot of buildings don't like high turnover rate. Just put it that way. A lot of companies that I clean or that we may clean, they don't want to have people coming in and out. They don't like that as much, especially if you got keys and access codes. So that's something that's frowned upon. So we used to go in on a couple of days a week, and this is a nice sized church, and we cleaned it. And the guy that was doing it, I've had like 2 people, and then the guy that I finally get, he been doing it for like 6 to 9 months. And I used to go in the beginning, and I used to make sure he got it right. And of course, we doing inspections and stuff, right? So we go and doing our inspection. But if he doing it and he's knocking out the park, I don't go in there all the time. Now, I don't go in there anymore, but I have my inspector to go in. So my inspector goes in according to how the cleaning goes on the building and the cleaning in the building. I send the inspector in. Hold up, I might have said it confusing. Now, if you got a person on a 5-day-a-week building and they're not doing too good, I might send somebody in there twice a week on it, right? But if I got somebody going on a 3-day-a-week building and they are phenomenal, I might only send somebody in there once a month, right? Or if the guy was doing a great job, man. The high dusting and everything was getting done, and so I stopped sending my guy in as often so we could focus on some other things. And so during that transition time, the cleaning was going good, but they also had a transition in the administration. And that's where it came in at, man. It was a regular clean. And so I didn't tell my guy to let me know about administration change. So I will be implementing that now in my team. Like, hey, when y'all see any administration change, bookkeeping or anything like that, or you hear them talking about changing inside of the higher levels, let me know so I can follow up. So they can know I'm in tune with it. But thank you for chiming in, man. Well, good point. It's hard to get my clients to complete the surveys on how the cleaning is going until they want to complain. Yeah, man. That's why, again, we help that out. We definitely got that involved with you. If you want to link up, we do client reputation. That's one of our things that we focus on. As far as sending an SMS text to them, or sending an email to them, or actually just letting you know that it's time for you to make a call. Inside of the marketing company that I have running for my company, we focus on website development, automation, social media, and client reputation. Now, the reason why I put that in there is because client reputation is actually how I get a lot of my clients on my bid. Like I know a lot of times, and I know this is not about that, but a lot of times we get these lead generations, or we get these cold callers, or we get these Facebook Facebook ads, or Instagram posts, and a lot of that stuff, man, it's all filler up to the whole grand scheme of what you really want to do, right? So the reason why I say that is because Google My Business, Google listings, and Google My business and Google reviews are very, very great for my company. Like, especially where I am. So when I list my Google business, now here's the tip: I have a virtual address. Now, when I got a virtual address, I got that because I was doing business credit. I did that from the beginning. My building of my business was into business credit. Now, I was using it again. All roads lead to real estate. So when I'm building on my LLC, I'm building it with the mindset of knowing that I wanted to get capital. Now, you can get capital for funding to grow your company. You can get capital to fund it. I mean, you can get a funding to build whatever you want to, but you get your LLC in position. Now, when I got my LLC, and this is where Google came in, that's what I'm talking about. I got my position, and I got a mailbox that's downtown Nashville, right? So when I get people calling, they see I'm in the heart of Nashville, and guess what? I've been getting a business through that. They see I'm in a replicable building, and yeah, I'm telling you. And then my reviews. So we want to make sure you keep your reviews and keep them updated. Don't have people from 3 or 4 years. Try to get some reviews on the regular. So if you need some about reputation management, or if you need to follow up to automation to get your reviews in, we have a system that follows up with the clients as well. Right when you leave them, we can follow up with a review, and we can manage that as well. Because I know sometimes as business owners, you don't want to manage your reviews, and they're so detrimental to a service business, right? So link up with me, man, and we could get that going. If you need help with that, admin at wishingaintdoingenough.com. That's admin at wishingaintdoingenough.com. Yes, sir. Wade, wishing ain't doing enough. But yeah, so you go ahead and we go with that. Now, what else you got now? Oh my God, again. Let's go. Let me see what it said. Answer this question. Do you send an inspector behind the cleaning companies you subcontract out to? Do you send your own inspector behind them? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. I do that because see, where I am, just where I am right now, I haven't developed the proper training to train the cleaners that I'm hiring. Now, if I get good cleaners, again, like I said, I got a good cleaner then, and I was like, hey, he was an immaculate job, and so I didn't send my guy in there to inspect behind him as much. And people that I put them in the building, they didn't like that. They didn't see me coming around as much, and so that intertwined, mixed in with the increase with the new administration, they came in and was like, oh, I don't see him. Why are we paying him? And he going up. That all mixed up and made a melting pot for that business, for that client. But I definitely have my people go in, because when I hire some people, sometimes they don't have the cleaning aspect that we do. And sometimes, although they saying they're cleaning company, they just started. They don't have the proper training. They don't know how to go and fold the rags to get efficiently out the building. They don't know how to spray the rags so the rags can be damp, so you don't have to keep spraying the wasting your chemicals, so you can conserve on your costs, so you can make these numbers work for you. They don't know how to efficiently wipe down the desk and change the trash and spot clean the floors or whatever you need in one swipe, so you can get out the building efficiently. So they don't understand that. So me going to seeing that people are business owners, they go into trying to rush in. They going through a mindset of trying to get a lot of things done to make as much money as you can, right? Because I went through that too when I first started, but I was building my own business. And some of the business owners that I've been working with are working their business as a job, but wanting to take on as many jobs as possible to grow their job / business, to make it make sense, right? So they taking on as many jobs, which is buildings, as possible to grow their job in the building, the business that they're still in. But they're saying it's a business and they're not being able to grow it because, again, they're not figuring out the efficiency and getting in and out the building so they can transfer it over to the next person so they can feel like the next person can feel like they're making some money. Right? Because if you got a building and you got the margins that you have, and I'm coming from a franchise, right? So peep this out. I had to put the people in the building to make a margin on the buildings that I was getting marginalized off of anyway. I don't know if I said that right, but I was getting the margin taken out of mine anyway, so I had to make it work, right? So I was putting people in it, and how I was doing it was actually learning how, because I had to make the numbers work for me, learning how to get in and out the buildings efficiently. I learned how to clean and do more than what other people do in the same amount of time. Right. So if a building took 2 hours, I was doing a 2.5 hour job in an hour and a half. And ask me how I was doing it. I was setting plastic bags in the bottom. I was wiping certain things down on other days. I was doing everything every time. And then I would do odd things. And over time, your mind will make you get faster because you're telling yourself, hey, I need to get out of that hour and a half. I need to get out of hour 45 minutes. And as you keep doing it, you training yourself to figure it out. Sometimes, man, and I know I'm just not about mind training, but sometimes people going in the building and thinking about everything else but how to get efficiently out this building to the next time, to the next building. And when I was growing my building, that's all I thought about in the buildings. I was, okay, well, if I did this, okay, all right, cool. I'm timing myself. It's a minute and it's an hour and 2 hours and 15 minutes. If I could cut that down to 2 hours, I could hit that other building and get into the next building by this time. And I could cut that down 15 minutes and I could get home 30 minutes. Because I was doing like 18 buildings by myself, right? And that's over the weeks. Like I had a lot of buildings that I was doing. Because again, I had franchise taking it out. They were taking some money out. So I had to do a lot. It's called sweat equity, as they told me. And so I put my sweat equity in, so therefore I could get a better ROI. But what I end up doing, and I'm gonna take this comment off, I end up starting to go for special services that I could get more time. I could get paid more for the time that I was in the building, like stripping, wax, carpet clean, high dusting, disinfecting services, deep cleaning, kitchen cleaning. I started doing all of those because when I could do those, I could pay people to go into the buildings, even if I take a small margin, but I could go and work and do the special services and make a bigger margin, and I could make the company work. I could make it work. And so that's what my strategy was. And so as we start to building up and we're putting subcontractors in the building, I had to go back to that same strategy because see, as you got a 1099 or a worker or a subcontractor, they want to be able to put somebody else in the building, right? So you subcontracting somebody that want to subcontract or put somebody else on work so they can get paid off the building. So with you doing that, right? With you doing that, you have to be able to bid it to where that can be done. So now I add 40% on what I would charge. But I got a system in place so I do that. So I charge this, add 40% because I want at least 40% from what I would do it for, and then I would give it to somebody where they could pay somebody. And it's been working. Now I haven't been getting all the bids, but it's been working. But it's been working, right? So that's how I'm scaling now. But again, I think that client communication and customer satisfaction is definitely a big tool, and automating that will help you out tremendously. Again, it helps me out a lot to be able to focus on other things, to have my client reputation managed by my team, to have emails followed up by my team, and to have them to making sure that the reviews are followed up and trying to get back to them and seeing who hasn't reviewed and giving me the spreadsheet or the breakdown of who hasn't responded, so that way I can get somebody in my cold calling division to actually call them. Hey, can you call XYZ and see how the clean is being, right? But you want to make sure that you're monitoring this stuff inside the company, inside your company, so that way it can go out to the other people. And it starts with your internal communication, then that external communication with your clients. And man, hopefully you got something today, man. Uh, if you're still on here, man, I appreciate it. I got my guy Michael chimed in today. Thank you for stepping in and watching for the day. How long I've been on here? I've been on about 40 minutes. I said I was gonna only do 15 minutes. I always say that and I get on here and start talking. But hopefully y'all got something on here today, man. We got any answers or questions and answers? No, we got Q&A session, I guess. You got any questions? Um, Anybody got any questions? I'll leave a little bit for the question, or I may tap on something else real quick because I see we got a couple of people still on here. So see what we got going on. Building loyal client base. Did I touch on the building loyal client base? We can touch on building loyal client base a little bit and see if we got some custom people coming in. But I definitely have some tips on building a loyal client base, and it all is about the story, man. It's about communicating your story with your client. A lot of times, as we building up in our business, are we getting out there? The client wants to build a relationship with somebody. You are now a business owner that has a relationship with other business people, and then that relationship actually brings money into the business. Now, to build a loyal fan base, or loyal not fan base, a loyal client base is constant communication. Over communicating sometimes, letting them know that, hey, I seen that dust up there and we got that down, or letting them know that you care about the building as much as they do. I got a client right now, and he loves the building, man. It's a church, it's another church, and they worship in the church, and they feel that it's sanctioned and holy ground, right? How do you think he feels? Now his sole job is to make sure the church grounds look good, right? So when I talk to him, I get my team, again, this is learned behavior. I get my team to take pictures of things that they done. When they take pictures of things they done, I send it to him. Hey man, we done this today. I don't have to go in there and get it done, but I do want to let him know that we looked at it. And then I say, hey, is there anything else that you're seeing that may need to be touched up on? We might be overlooking. Now this right here happens in the text app. That's how we do in the text messaging. You're right. We have that app too. We have the app that we communicate with our clients as well. But not only that, we also want to send a text review to them too on their phone. So we're going to have multiple different ways that we connect with our clients. You're coming on in the next week and a half to get the feedback from them. But again, you want to make sure that the building a loyal client base, you want to make sure that you treating their establishment like yours. Man, think about it if somebody came into your house and cleaned out your refrigerator and, man, hey, man, I seen that you had some old stuff in him and I threw them out the refrigerator for you, man. Oh, darn, you didn't have to clean out the refrigerator. Now, pride come before destruction. If you prideful and man, you didn't have to do that, you probably get upset, right? But take it for what it's worth. Somebody going over and beyond to let you know, hey man, I took care of this. When especially some of them that be low on toilet paper, they be low on toilet paper and stuff. They love it when we say, hey man, y'all low on paper products. Here we going down. Or even if they low on soap or dishwashing liquid, hey man, we seen it is low. I seen it back there. I couldn't change it out. Little certain things like that, building up a loyal relationship is definitely great for your client. Definitely great for your client. They love that type of stuff. At least it's in my case. All right. So no Q&A. All right. So I wanted to shout out again my team for putting this together for me, and Michael Wilkins for coming down today with the question, my guy. Hey, told you, man, look forward to working with you. Hopefully we got something coming up soon. If you're still on here, man, I really appreciate it working with you before. Hopefully we got some automation. I got a lot of things that may help you out and work exactly with whatever software you're working with right now. But again, man, y'all have a great time today. A great time tonight. I gotta get back into it, man. Wishing they doing it, and I'm out of here. Yes, it was I. Bang, 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 let's go. Last point. We still live? I thought we was gone. Then we still live. They won't let me go. Okay, last point. I agree with the point about letting clients know things that you have done for them, cleaning their fridge, etc. Stuff you didn't have to do or wasn't asked for them to do or not paid to do. Definitely, definitely. Now, when I do that, it ain't like I'm trying to show it out though, right? It's not. It's the, see. All right. One thing I like to say, man, anything you do, it's a motive behind it. I was supposed to be going off, but I guess they wouldn't end, so I'm still here. I'm back again, right? But I want you to know, and Michael, I know you personally. We done work and we done talk. So I want to know, man. I want to talk to people out there to make sure you know that you're giving the best heart inside of something, right? When I'm going to do these type of things, I'm sending it with the sincerity of showing them that I'm going the extra mile, not with the braggadocious way of this is what I'm doing, right? Because I want them to relieve, hey, this is doing, there's no issue. I just wanted them to know that, hey, this is what we're doing. Hey, and it is something to build a relationship to where I'm not just, hey, how you doing? How's it clean? Hey, how you doing? How's it clean? Hey, how you doing? How's it clean? I don't want to be just monotone, so to speak. I want to have variation. This is the reason why I have automation that I implement in businesses. This is the reason why I do client reputation, because I wanted to have different ways of connecting with my client. And we're just starting to build it because, again, once you have the client, the upsell is better from selling the client that you have than trying to get a new client, right? So it's easier to sell a new client, upsell, and make more money from the same client you have than to get a new client. Say it again. It's easier to upsell a client that you already have than to have to go out and get a new client. And I know this for sure because studying marketing, they say people spend a whole bunch of money to get a client. And a lot of times people will give concessions because they want to keep you. Case in point, credit card companies. Once you learn that you get default, I mean, I don't want to say default, but you got certain things, they will let you slide because they want to keep you because it's cheaper to keep them. It's cheaper to keep them. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to talk about with that. So we want to make sure that we have a system in place that gets your client reputation, client satisfaction, and making sure that your client has great cleaners. All right. So check the temperature of your cleaners. How do y'all feel on the day's clean? Do y'all have any issues? What was the problem? Making sure they get on time. I'm just now about to implement, I hate to say it, I hate to say I'm just not about to do it, a standard way that you have to dress. I've been letting people go in and just dress stuff because it's a cleaning company. A lot of the buildings would be after hours. But man, I really think that where I need to go is I need them to dress a certain way because that communicates something. Are we talking about client communication, right? I want to communicate a consistency. And so in consistency of the way we show up, it's a consistency in the clean, it's consistency in everything, it's consistency inside the company. So now I'm starting to have my mind on bigger things. And so I want to make sure that I'm implementing those things as well. All right, Michael, you got one more thing? I it's really impressed them. Excellent point. I'm gonna have to implement that, man. Yes, sir, man. Implement some of those things, man. And again, take it with good heart. Don't look to try to bamboozle them, man. Look, I'm doing this. I need to go up on my bill. No, it's not what it's not to go up. Because see, if you got built into your contract, you got a level of if you built it in the contract, you got an increase that goes with inflation. And that's what I lost a client for, because it was a yearly increase. It was the second year, transferred administration, and they wasn't seeing me. So it was okay. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. Tap on, I get it. And it was a nice size client too. So I get it. I get it, man. Anytime you lose something that you're losing $1,000 or $1,500 profit and you don't have to be in the building, that's a nice size client, right? So, okay, for me at this point, I'm at 1,000 to 1,500, 12, 1,500 at a profit, the way I'm paying another guy and he making money. And then that's a good building. But I lost it, man. And I'm not ashamed to say I lost it, you know, and but I do know one thing. I could see the way I did lose it. Not paying attention, not being there on time, and not showing up as much. But I can also see how my dude was doing a great job. We didn't have no complaints, and it was a yearly up. It was just a yearly upcharge, because I even sent out an email to the cleaners the month of the upcharge. Hey, y'all, hey, it's gonna be a month yearly upcharge right now. Make sure y'all tighten down. Make sure y'all going the extra mile. So he knew everybody going up. Everybody know what's going up. What's going down? I mean, yeah, what's going up? But everybody know what's going up. It's going up. But again, those are my issues. All right, we got one more, Michael. All right, let's see what we got. Good point. Let the client know you went the extra mile for them, but in a humble way. Yeah, in a humble way. Yeah. Not, yeah, definitely. I don't like the word humble, but I got you. I know exactly what you mean. Humble, yeah, we ain't gonna go on to that one. I will say humble. They use humble to try to make people feel like they can't walk in there with confidence. They use that humble, man. You should be more humble with what you got. Man, dude, I done worked hard for what I got. And that's the energy that makes me work harder. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that word. I'll bring up another topic on that one day. But anyway, man, I'm up out of here, man. Wishing I ain't doing enough. I thank y'all for joining in tonight. I think most we had tonight was about 7 at the time. And that was cool, man. Hey, it's growing. It's growing. Ended. I see you, my guy. I'm trying to end my live. They won't let me go. What's wrong? Y'all go get on up. Let me go. Y'all go. What up, my guy? What's up? Live just rolling. Technology. Man, live just rolling. I keep putting in and it won't cut. I'm just had to shut my computer down with technology. But look, I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, y'all standing to these live, it's gonna get a lot better, man. I'm telling you, I'm working on a curriculum that I'm gonna go over with my lives. Right now, I'm getting everything together. I'm seeing when people chiming in. I'm throwing things out there to see what we got going on. But yeah, it's gonna be definitely structured curriculum when we going on the webinars and everything. Y'all stay tuned. It's gonna go down, man. Well, it's gonna get. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna teach a lot of stuff, a lot of business mindsets. Are we gone? We ready?